So the single largest new expenditure in our 2020, the biennium budget that we passed in 2021 was the HEART Fund. This HEART Fund provides $25 million a year specifically for addiction and mental health programs across the state.
We've had deaths from overdoses on fentanyls in particular recently, and so those are an additional tragedy. But like I said, the big numbers we have are mostly property crimes committed by the users.
And of those property crimes you're seeing, what percentage would you say are drug related?
Oh, I would guess 95%. We don't see a lot of property crimes that aren't related to drug or either methamphetamine or fentanyl or some of the synthetics that we're seeing.
But we've seen a huge uptick in confiscation of fentanyl, particularly the first half of this year. Just curious, do you think that's because there's just more of it, or we're getting better?
I don't think there's no doubt there's more of it. There's no doubt in my mind, and any trooper is going to tell you that, especially the interdiction guys. They're just finding that on a, not to say a daily basis, but on a more routine basis, they're finding loads of fentanyl, and they're actually, some of them pretty good size, you know, several hundred pills at a time.
When it comes to violent crime, I don't know if I've seen more violent crime, but I've seen more extreme violent crime. Or when we do warrants, I used to get warrants because I do a lot of the drug interdiction warrants because Beaver Head County has the first 90 miles of the freeway. Jefferson County's got up to Helena and then over to Bozeman. It used to be I do a warrant once or twice a week and maybe they'd find half-pound marijuana, stuff like that. Now I'm getting officers calling me back and saying, we found 200 fentanyl pills, we found a pound of meth. There was a young lady in the car that didn't know how she got out of Utah. And so it's just all of these things that are multiplied kind of on the seriousness level that we haven't seen before.
The mental health issues that we have walking the streets of our community, and it's hard to determine is the mental illness the cause of the drug addiction, or is the drug addiction cause of the mental illness, and so we have those problems, and Sheriff and I, we work with Coalition of Care locally here, and what do you do with those people? They're having a mental health issue. Proper placement really isn't the hospital, it's not the jail. Where do you take them? And we're having a tough time finding that place where you take that person to come down off of a high or an episode of mental illness, and then without taxing our services locally here.
Every couple of years, the taxpayers are spending over $40 million on these programs, Nexus, Passages, you name it, Elkhorn. Yet we have no measurable outcomes. So what we're really focusing on with our community corrections partners is going, as we renew contracts, is to include that. We want to know what's working, what's not working, and if it's not working, let's get something that is working and spend that money effectively. So that is exactly what we're trying to do, is have measurable outcomes for these programs, make sure that we're spending the money where we have the most impact. But I will tell you, it's challenging because almost every one of the offenders fails at some time.
What Butte needs is different than what Hardin needs, is different than what Great Falls needs, and that's why I think it's important to do these roundtables in the various communities.